Okay, good afternoon everybody. Today is, what is it? 25th of, no, not the 25th of Saturday, the 25th of August. I am going to do my 36-week update. I'm 36 weeks tomorrow. I feel like there has been, a lot of changes over the past month. So there is a fair bit to get through today. I think the main reason for that is because I really feel like my body is preparing for the birth now, and I'll go into detail about the little things that are making me think that. But yeah, just lots of things going on and very busy with trying to prepare for this baby's arrival. The last update that I did was my 32-week update, and if you've watched it, it got a little bit emotional, and I'm definitely feeling in a much better place about everything now. So yeah, this is going to be a much more positive video. I've got my phone here, so if I keep looking down, that's why, because there are quite a few notes that I've written down. So the main thing, the most positive thing this week is that, well, over the past few weeks, is that I've just started getting really excited. And I think that a lot of the way through my pregnancy, the emotion has definitely been overwhelmness? No, that's not. Feeling overwhelmed, and that's definitely shifted to being excited. I'm still nervous about being a mum, but yeah, I'm just getting really excited now to meet the little bubba. Sorry, one sec. I'm out of breath. So that's a nice positive update to start the video. The second thing was that we had our baby shower last weekend. My sister Hannah planned it all, and her and her friend flew down from Burnley last weekend and set it all up, and it was beautiful, and I'm really thankful that all my friends could make it. Everybody came from different places, so it's just really nice to get everybody together and see them, well, the majority of them, for the last time, whilst it's just me. Well, me and Curtis, but you know what I mean. We got some really, really lovely gifts, and I can't wait to get the baby in them all. I'm in the nursery today, by the way. Did start off downstairs. Curtis came down with his stereo blasting out. The next thing is that, sorry, I'm getting really out of breath, is we've basically got everything now. It took us a while to even start buying things, and now we're pretty much there. I just bought the last thing last night, which was the Moses basket. We've been umming and ahhing about the sleeping situation for the past, 2 months, I think, when we first started speaking about it. And we've decided to just go with a Moses basket. I think the most popular combination, which I've seen on YouTube, I've had friends recommend to me, is having a crib upstairs. And the co-sleeper cribs are really popular, so like the Snooze Pod and the Chico next to me, with then combining that with the sleepy head for daytime naps downstairs, or a Moses basket downstairs, and then a cot for when the baby gets bigger. So we were looking at all the different options. That, of course, would have been a lot of money, but ultimately we made the decision based on we were going to go and get the Snooze Pod. Then we realised that our bed is really high. So we realised that the Snooze Pod wouldn't even level up with our mattress. I know they move up and down, but our bed is super high. So to have the benefits of the co-sleeper with the Snooze Pod, we wouldn't get that benefit of having the flap down and being able to see baby all night, because I know they've got like a mesh lining, but when the flap was down, the Snooze Pod would have been lower than the bed, so we weren't getting that benefit. We also, and disclaimer, I know that literally so many mums, so many of my friends have recommended them to me. Again, I've seen it on so many of people's essential lists on YouTube, is the sleepy head. But we just felt like at the moment it's not a necessity spend for us. We're going to see how the baby gets on sleeping wise in the Moses basket. So we got the Snuggle Moses basket, which it actually looks like a washing basket. It's bigger than traditional Moses baskets, so the baby will have more time in it and won't grow out of it as quickly. It looks beautiful as well. They're recommended by the Lullaby Trust, and if you don't know, the Lullaby Trust is, I think it's the charity in the UK, or the governing body in the UK for safe sleeping, and they set the standards on how babies should be sleeping, etc. So these type of Moses baskets are recommended. But during the day I can lift the actual bassinet and take it downstairs so baby can nap during the day. Because I know a lot of people use the sleeper head for that reason, as well as putting it inside the crib. But so what we're going to do, we're just going to play it by ear, and then if baby is a really bad sleeper and can't settle without being snuggled in, then we'll consider getting the sleeper head. But for now, we just didn't feel like it was an essential spend. So that's what we've done. And yeah, as I was saying, so we've more or less got everything now. There's things in the nursery that we need to do. I'm looking around, you can't see, but we'll do a nursery tour once it's finished. We just need to put some shelves up, we've got a clock, we've got some prints. I've washed all the baby's clothes, I need to iron those. So yeah, we're pretty much there with everything, which I'm like, I keep going through my lists and I'm like, I definitely got everything. We just need a changing mat, which I can pick up no problem. Okay, now for the not so fun stuff. So pelvic pain is something that has kind of kicked in. Heartburn is also something, but pelvic pain is something that's kicked in over the past month, and typically it's in the morning. It's when my body's all stiff and getting out of bed is a little bit painful. I'm just putting it down to my body, everything loosening up, joints and ligaments etc. just starting to get ready for the birth. I'm not too concerned about it. I think it's something that is very normal in pregnancy. We'll mention it to the midwife on Tuesday, just because this morning it usually goes away after I start moving about, and today it hasn't gone away and it's kind of being a little bit persistent. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I think it's something that is bound to happen when your body's making all these changes and everything down there is just starting to get ready for baby's exit. The next one is sleeping is broken, but so it's like I'll sleep for 8 hours, but during that 8 hours I'll have to get up every 2 hours. I get up to both wee and to change positions, because I think because of the weight, my bottom leg when I'm on one side becomes really stiff and sore, so I have to roll back over to the other side, and it's just annoying because you can't literally just roll if you've got a pregnancy pillow. You have to pick up the pregnancy pillow, put the pregnancy pillow down, because mine's got like a backrest as well, so I have to put that underneath me. So it's like I'm waking up every 2 hours to go to the toilet, then do that, and then, but that is literally every 2 hours until the morning. But I'm not finding that of course I'm tired and I'm exhausted during the day just because of being pregnant, but I am waking up in the morning feeling like I've had a good night's sleep. So again, it's just something that I'm heavily pregnant now, it's bound to happen. I'm not going to whinge about it, it is what it is, I'm just getting on with it. Well, this was a bit of a different one. So the other night I was sat on the sofa, I'm just going to sit back. The other night I was sat on the sofa, or the other afternoon, and baby was really moving, and at the top of my belly, that's where the bum is, just like above my belly button, the bum, and I feel like everything's scrunched up there. And he or she was really moving, and all of a sudden I heard this really loud click, like it sounded like someone cracking the knuckles or like something like that. And I was like, I felt around on my top to see what it could have been, and I couldn't feel like anything plastic or anything. I was just so, I thought that can't have come from my stomach, but there was nowhere else it could have come from, and it came from like the top of my stomach. So of course I went on Google. I asked a few of my friends who've got babies, And I also text the midwife, and everybody was saying like, oh, they've not really heard of it before. So obviously it just panicked me a little bit. In my head I'm like, this baby broke his or her neck. I was just like thinking all sorts. I rang the hospital and they said, you know, if there's no bleeding and you're not in pain, then don't worry too much. Just keep an eye on it and yourself and baby's movements, and if everything feels normal, don't worry too much about it. But I looked online and I found that it's not common at all, but for the women that have experienced it, everybody has put it down to like the baby's joints clicking. Because I don't have much, I'll show you my bum shortly, but I don't have much water surrounding the bump at all. Like my tummy is very tight, and it has been since I got pregnant. And throughout the growing phase, my tummy has always been really tight, and it's like baby is right at the front of my stomach, so I can't feel any water. So I feel like any noises that might come from my belly would be a lot easier for me to hear. But there were women saying that they experienced the same sounds from about 36, 37 weeks, so that kind of fits in with that. But yeah, I'm going to mention it again to the midwife on Tuesday, but baby's still moving fine and I feel fine, etc. So not worried about that anymore. Heartburn has kicked in, but it doesn't cause me pain. It's not something that like is really annoying me. It is typically just in the evenings. If I eat late and I go to bed with a full stomach, that's when I'll get the heartburn, and it's more of just like I feel like the food's here and it's like acidy. But if I have 2 Rennies before I go to bed, that solves it straight away. So again, not complaining. My hands and feet have started to swell slightly, especially when it's been warm, and the warmer days is definitely when I tend to swell a bit more. Because I work from home and I'm at a laptop and I'm sat down, I feel like my feet swell if I've been in that position for a long time. So I'll just go on the sofa and I'll just elevate my feet and it goes straight down. Excuse me. A not so nice update, frustrating update for me for this month is that I found out I had Group B Strep. If you haven't heard of Group B Strep, I hadn't. If you haven't heard of it, have a look into it. It's something that's been on the news recently. There's a lot of campaigning about it going on. It was actually on Good Morning Britain a few weeks ago with a family sharing their story about it. It's basically a bacteria. Right, I'm not a doctor, so please have a look into this yourself, but I've done a lot of reading on it. So what I gather from Group B Strep and the reading I've done is that it's a bacteria that lives in your gut or your vagina, and 1 in 4 women in the UK carry it. The stats for the US are different. I don't know why, but in the UK, 1 in 4 women carry it with no problems, no symptoms, etc. And it's a bacteria that comes and goes. So you could test positive for it at one stage in your life, and you could test negative for it 6-7 weeks later. The problem with Group B Strep is it comes around when you're pregnant, because if the Group B Strep is passed to your baby, which it can be whilst you're giving birth through the birth canal, it can cause complications for the baby, and in severe cases the baby can die. So I never heard of it. I was really happy that I was approved to have a home birth, and Curtis had finally come around to the idea of having a home birth. And I got a call from the midwife to say, because I had a swab for something else, so they don't routinely test for it on the NHS. So once you have read up on it, you may want to make sure that you get tested for it whilst you're pregnant. And to do that, you have to request it from your midwife. So mine was what they call an accidental find. So the midwife rang me. She said, I'm really sorry. I know, like, we said the home birth was fine, and we can discuss it when we see you next week, but basically you've got Group B Strep. Have a read into it before I next see you. And what it means is that you've got to have intravenous antibiotics. You have to have 2 rounds of them. let me get this right, I believe it's every 4 hours for the if you're having the antibiotic penicillin. Now, after doing my reading, some women go to the hospital while after the waters break, they have the 2 lots of penicillin, and then they go back home to have the baby at home if a home birth is something that they're really wanting. So I was considering that. Then the midwife asked me, you know, are you fine with penicillin? And I said no, because my mum was allergic to penicillin. She never wanted us she never wanted to risk being us, oh my god, she never wanted to give us penicillin when we were growing up because she didn't know if we were also allergic. So because of that, I've never had it. I don't know what the risks would be for me, and the midwife said clearly we're not going to risk that when you're pregnant, when you're giving birth, if you're potentially allergic. So you'll have to have another antibiotic, I can't remember the name of it, which are administered every 8 hours, and I've got to have 2 lots of those. Ow! I've got to have 2 lots of those before the baby is born, which of course may not, oh god, it's kicking so hard, may not even be possible. Like, my mum had me and my sister in 5 or 6 hours, so like it's all like what ifs. But basically, as soon as my waters break, I need to go to hospital. I need to be given the intravenous antibiotics. I think it takes like 10 minutes to administer them, and then so you've got a cannula in your arm, they administer the antibiotics for 10 minutes, and then you have to wait another 8 hours and you get another lot. That means that because in my area the midwives don't offer the service of administering antibiotics at home, that I'm going to have to go to hospital. So really I am gutted about that. I was so excited for my home birth, but you know, I've got to be sensible, and I've got to make sure that if there are chances of removing the risks of baby contracting the group B strep, then of course I'm going to do that. There is an option for me to retest, but I'll have to do it privately. I'll have to pay for the test at 37 weeks, which is next week. And if I test positive, the studies have shown that, if I test negative, that you will, from that test date, you will be negative for at least the next 5 weeks. So if that's the case, I can go back to my home birth plan. But if I'm testing positive again, I'll definitely be giving birth to baby in hospital. There is a birthing ward, which is a midwife-led ward. I really don't want to give birth on the labour ward, so that's what, if I'm testing positive next week, baby will be given birth on the birthing ward, fingers crossed in a birthing pool, and I can still have a lot of what I was going to do at home. I'm going to do a birth plan video where I'm going to go into detail about the various drugs that I am going to have or I'm not going to have, etc., and everything I'm going to do for my birth to make it the best experience it can be. But I can still do all of the things that I'm going to do at home. I can still do those on the birth ward. So that's that. It is frustrating, but it is what it is, and I've just got to get on with it. So that's where we stand with the group B strep. I think that is everything, actually. Let me show you a little. The bump has grown so much since I last did a little bump shot on YouTube. Whoa, my pelvis. So baby is literally like, bum is here, head is right down here, but all the movement I typically feel around here, or punches to the nether regions when I'm walking and things are not that comfortable. But yeah, she is growing. Yeah, I think that is everything for today. I'm going to do a detailed birth plan video, and definitely going to do the big buys. Some people call it essentials, but I think that's the wrong word because I don't think they're essentials. But I'm definitely going to do one of those videos, and then I'm going to do my hospital bag video once I've finally packed my hospital bag, which I really need to get a move on doing because literally baby is due in 4 weeks and of course could come before that time. But yeah, I'm going to do those videos, so if there's any other videos that you want to see, let me know and I'll definitely whack them out. Alright, I'm going to go. I'll see you all soon. Bye!